Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the printing webinar. My name is Nick, and I will be doing the presentation with you today. Just like all of our previous webinars, everybody will be on mute. But if you do happen to have any questions at any point during our class, please feel free to go ahead and type those into the questions and answers section. And at the end of the class, I will go through and answer any questions that may have come up. Also, at the end of the class, I will be sending out an email that's going to contain a document that covers everything that we're going to be talking about in today's class. And should you happen to have any questions while going over that document, again, please don't hesitate. Contact our support department and they will be happy to help you out. Again, today's class is on printing, and my name is Nick. So in today's class, we're going to go over some detailed information about printing in Envisioneer. We're going to be looking at going through some step-by-step exercises on how to go ahead and print in Envisioneer. We're going to be looking at vector versus raster printing in today's class. We're also going to be looking at how to create a PDF file, and then we're also going to be looking at batch printing. So the first thing we're going to be talking about is vector versus raster printing. Now, Envisioneer has two drawing environments: the model view, where you create or construct your model, and then the worksheet view, where you create your construction documents. Each environment you can print from out of either both your model view and your worksheet views. What is important to remember is that there are two methods of printing in Envisioneer, depending on whether you want to print out a line drawing or if you want to print out a graphical image. And this is going to be our vector versus raster printing options. Now, vector printing uses vector graphics. Now, these are going to be geometrical primitives such as points, lines, curves, and polygons, which help represent the objects on your screen. By default, the print tool in Envisioneer uses vector printing when printing from a worksheet view. This means that only actual objects will be included in the output. Non-objects such as the background color will not be printed. Because vector printing is vector-based and resolution independent, your output will be sharp and high quality regardless of any scaling that you do. Vector printing should be used for your 2D floor plans, your elevations, sections, and details, because these views show mainly line work. Now, raster printing is the printing of raster images, also known as bitmap images, and they represent objects as an array of pixels, as in a photograph. Pixels are going to be tiny dots of individual color that make up what you see on your screen. The size and quality of a raster image depends on the resolution that is selected. Resolution refers to the number of pixels in an image and is measured in terms of DPI, which stands for dots per inch. When raster printing is used, everything you see in the view window is included in that output, including the background image. So I'm going to put mine into a 3D view so we can see what we're talking about when we're looking at a 3D view. When printing a raster image, the printer requires more image data than your monitor can handle. This is one of the reasons that raster printing results in larger file sizes than your vector printing. Raster image printing should be used for your 3D real views, your 2D designer plan views, any kind of dynamic cutaway, and then any realistic display mode in an elevation image that you want to depict. So as a vector print here, as a raster print here, we would see the background, we would see the grass, we would see everything within this view with all of the different textures. And if I turn on the full visibility by turning on the roofs, we would see the roof in our design as well. So now let's actually go ahead and start printing some views so we can see these things in action. So each view window in your project has its own set of print properties, such as the printer plotter selection, the page size, the scaling, and the print quality. These are the settings that are used when you use the print tool to print the current view. When you have a view on your screen that you want to print, there are several methods that you can use to print it. You can use the print the image on the screen option, and you can render the view and print out an image in a variety of formats, including bitmap, JPEG, PNG, GIF, and TIFF. Or you can insert the view onto a working drawing sheet to print it out from there. So let's print an image from our screen in our model view to learn about the print tool. So we've already moved into our model view, and I've thrown this into a 3D view for us already. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go up and we're going to select File, and we're going to select Print. This will bring up the print properties from our model view, and we can see that we have a couple of different options in here to choose from. Now, in this print dialog, we can control the printer or plotter that we want to print to. Now, this is where you can select if you want to print it right to a piece of paper. You can select the printer that you're going to print to, and it will print out on a piece of paper for you. If you don't want to waste ink and you just want to print something out to send to somebody, you can use the ability to create a PDF. So you would just simply select the PDF that you want to use, and all you would have to do from here is specify how you want this to be set up. Now, under the properties, you can control a little bit further the information that you're going to be printing out. Now, under the properties here, the one I think I want to take a look at is the print quality, which again, like we mentioned, is the dots per inch. Now, by default, it is probably going to use a DPI setting of about 300 dots per inch. You can use the drop down and you can adjust the size if you want to. Again, the more dots per inch, the more condensed the image is going to look. So it's going to be a little bit crisper, a little bit sharper, but it is going to take a little bit more time to print it out. So again, you can adjust this and play with it and find what's going to be the best option for you. I'm just going to leave mine at 300 DPI. I'm going to say OK to that. And then I'm going to keep it as a letter, but I'm going to change it to be landscape so that it fits a lot on the page a little bit better. Now the print area, this is where you can go through and you can start to adjust how you want this to be printed out. So right now it's set to extents. So it's trying to fit everything onto the page. I can go in and I can say, well, I want to print what's actually on the display. So if I had a view where I was just looking at one part of the drawing, it would show me just what is on the display. So if I click cancel here, and let's say I'm just looking at this part, I just want to show just the front entryway. So when I go back up to File and Print, and if I have it on Extents, it's going to show absolutely everything in the screen. And then the display will show just the area that we're working with. We can also center it on the page, or we can move it to the lower left if we want to. We're going to keep ours centered on page. Since we are working with a raster image, we're not going to be able to do any kind of scaling. So we're going to be able to just print this out, and we're just going to zoom back out here. I'm going to show everything. And we're going to go back to File and Print. We're going to select our PDF, and it's going to go back into a landscape. And then all we have to do from here is simply select Print, and it's now going to create a PDF for us. And I'm just going to save this to my desktop, and we're just going to call this Front View. And then we're going to say Save. And I used a PDF writer, so it's going to give me a bit of an ad here. If you have a PDF writer installed on your system, it could be a free version. If it is a free version, it may have ads. If it is a purchased version, then it may not have ads. Now, this is just one way that you can print out 3D views in Envisioneer. This is not going to be very detailed in shadows or anything like that, because we didn't actually render this. we just took an image of the model and created a file that way. Alternatively, you can go up to File, Render 3D Real View, zoom out in the scene. So we're going to, again, see this entire plan now. And what you would do here is you would now create a rendering. So I would go up and I would say under Options, control the level and the anti-aliasing, which will clean up the lines. So I'm going to go to 5 there. And then we're just going to say apply and then OK. And then when you start this render, what it's going to do is it's going to go through, it's going to calculate the lights and the shadows based off of the time of day, where you're situated in the world, and how much light you have in that scene. So this is going to go through pretty quickly and create a file for us. Now, what this does is it will now give us the ability to save this as a JPEG file somewhere on our computer. And again, once this is done saving, or sorry, once this is done ray tracing, we'll be able to save it. And I can just say, I want to save this file. And we're going to save this to our desktop as well. So we're just going to go up to desktop. And we're going to go front view. I thought I saved it to the desktop. And we'll just save it here. We'll go and say, we're going to call this front view rendered, and we'll say save. And again, all that does is it just creates that image for us. And then once it's done, you can simply select close. Now, as I mentioned earlier, each view in your project has its own set of print properties. To access those print properties, you can go up and you can select under View, View Properties. And what that will do is every view that you access will give you the ability to select the view properties, and you have access to the print properties. And in here, you can adjust how you want that particular sheet to print out. You can also go up to View and View Manager, and under the View Manager option, you can control each sheet all at once. So now I can select the model view, and I can adjust the print properties for the model view. I can go to my sheets, and I can adjust the print properties for each of my sheets. So you have a little bit more control over adjusting exactly how you want each view to print out by selecting the View Manager and doing it all at the same time. Now, we touched briefly on creating a PDF file in our last section, but I just want to point out exactly what the options are for a PDF. So I'm just going to click close on there. And we're going to go to a floor plan view, and I'm just going to insert a floor plan real quick in here. So I'm just going to go up to my Define Smart Views, and I'm just going to turn off everything that I don't want to see. And for right now, I don't want to see the terrain. I'm going to make sure everything is visible, and then I'm just going to say Insert, and I'm going to place that into our drawing. Now, the PDF file format is a very popular way to share files with other people, whether it be a print company or other businesses and individuals involved in the actual building project. Many people have a PDF viewer installed on their computer, and those who don't have a PDF viewer can download the Adobe Acrobat Reader for free from the Adobe website. However, to create a PDF file, you need to have a PDF writer installed on your computer. This is like a special kind of print driver or utility that has the capability of producing PDF files. When a PDF writer is installed on your system, it will appear in that list of printers that we saw earlier, and it will use it just like a printer would. Now, some PDF writers are free and can be downloaded from the internet, and some companies charge for their PDF software. There are a couple of different options out there that you can use, Again, Adobe is going to be a paid version. So once you pay for Adobe, you get the PDF writer included, as well as a couple other Adobe applications. But if you're only looking for a PDF writer that you want to use, there are free options out there. Ones that I have used and that I have actually installed. So if I go up to File and Print, PDF 995 is a free version. That is the one that we used earlier. It is, again, free, but it is going to have some ads. There is also a Qt PDF option. And again, this one works very well. Again, it is free, but there is no ads in this one. There are also paid version of the Qt PDF. So again, choose whichever one is going to work best for you. Do your research online and find out what PDF writer is going to work best for you and your needs. And I'm going to use the Qt PDF so you can see how that one works. And again, the advantages of using a PDF writer is if you don't have a plotter and you just want to create the plans and you want them to be to the correct size, the PDF will allow you to do that. So I've chosen the Qt PDF. I'm going to use the paper size, and I know that this is a 24 by 36 size sheet. So I need to be printing this on an Arch D size sheet. I'm going to select Arch D. I want this to be in the landscape format, but I don't want to use the print area of all extents. I want to use the window option. What the window option allows me to do is it allows me to select exactly where I want to print this view from. So I'm going to use the window button. And then I'm going to use this red arrow in the corner. I'm going to go from one corner to the next. This is a part of the title block that we include in Envisioneer, and it will not print out. Those lines are non-plottable, so they will never print out. They're there as a guideline for you to select 2 points to make sure that the exact area that you want to print is within view. Once I've specified the window, I can see that it is set to 2 foot by 3 foot. I can center it on the page, but I want to make sure that this is a print to scale. So this is going to make sure that what I'm actually printing is to the correct scale. So I want to make sure that print to scale is set, and I have the print scale option selected as well, which is going to be 1 to 48, or which is basically a 1/4 inch is equal to a foot. Here you have a couple of choices you can make as well. Do I want to print all these colors as black, or do I want them to be in color? So when I create the PDF, do I like to see the color, or do I want everything to be black and white? You can make that decision. I'm going to leave mine as color because I'm not printing to a plotter, so I don't care if there's color involved. And then line weight. So do I want the line weights to be turned on? More than likely, when you are printing from a working drawing sheet and you're working with a construction set of drawings, especially plan views, you will want to make sure your line weights are enabled. So I'm going to make sure mine are selected, and then I'm just going to simply select print. And what this will do now is it will go through and it's going to create that PDF for us. And I'm going to again save this to my desktop, and I'm just going to call this webinar floor plan. And then we're just going to say save. Now I have the open saved PDF with, and it's going to open up for me in my Internet Explorer. And then I can see here, I can now see that PDF. And this would be a PDF that I would send to the plotter, and they would then be able to print it out if they wanted to. Or I can send this and share it with clients so that they can actually see it as well. So again, a PDF is a great way to share electronic files with anybody that needs to look at the views that you're creating. The last thing I want to take a look at with you is batch printing. Now, batch printing gives you the ability to print multiple views all at once. This is especially useful if you have created a number of different working drawing sheets for your construction documents. To do this, you're going to want to make sure that you have everything set up. So you're going to want to make sure, again, you have your view manager, and you've gone through and you've specified all of your sheets to use the correct printer information that you want. So you would again go through, specify all of these, and we want that to be in a landscape format. We're going to go window and window. And we're going to pick our window from this corner here to this corner here. And then we're going to make sure again that this is print to scale, and we're going to make sure that the line weights are turned on. And you're going to do that for all of the sheets when you're doing this. Now, to save yourself time, if you are in the practice of using templates, you can set up your template so that every sheet is already set up to the plotter that you're going to use, be it an inter-office plotter or printer, or if you're using a PDF writer, you can, again, set it up by default in your template, so you don't have to do this every single time. Once you have everything set up, you can then go up to File, and you can select Batch Printing. Now, what batch printing will allow you to do is it will allow you to, again, choose, again, the print options that you want, but it will also allow you to choose which views you want to print. So right now, I've only really set up these two views, so I only want to print floor plans and elevations. You can pick and choose exactly which views you want to print. And then all you have to do is simply select Print. And it's going to go up and it's going to create those PDFs for you based on the settings that you have defined. Now, it will not create one PDF. It's going to create however many sheets you have, it's going to create that many PDFs. So it will create two PDFs in this case. So I would name each of these as needed, and it will go in order. So the first view would be our floor plan. So I would call the first one floor plan. And I'm just going to go and say webinar floor plan 2 because we've already done one, and I'll say save. And then it's going to pop up again, and it's going to ask us for the next view. And this one is going to be our elevation. So I'm going to go webinar elevation, and then we'll say save. And now we'll have two separate PDF files that we can send out for review or for printing. All right, well, that covers everything that I wanted to discuss in today's class. So I'm just going to go over a quick review. Again, if you do happen to have any questions, now is your chance to type those in, and I will do my best to answer those for you. So again, just to review, there are a number of ways to print views of your Envisioneer model and a variety of print settings that you can define to get the results that you want. You're going to use vector printing for any line drawings, such as your 2D floor plans, your elevations, your sections, and your details. You're going to use raster printing for any graphical images, such as your 3D real views, your 2D design or plan views, your dynamic cutaways, and any realistic display mode elevation images that you want to include. Each view window has its own set of print properties that you can define prior to printing using the view properties. You can also define these print settings in the print dialog at the time of printing. Print settings include printer selection, paper size, the orientation, the print area, the page setup, the print scaling, and the line weights. To create a PDF file, you must have a PDF print driver installed on your computer. To read a PDF file, you must have a PDF writer installed on your computer as well. So again, that covers everything that I wanted to discuss with you today. I'm not seeing any questions at this point in time. So I'm just going to pause here for just a moment just to see if anybody else has any questions. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the class, I will be sending out an email that contains a document that covers everything that that covers everything that we've looked at in today's class. And should you happen to have any questions while going over that document, again, please don't hesitate. Contact our support department and they will be happy to help you out with any of your questions. Perfect. Well, there doesn't appear to be any questions, so I do want to thank everybody for attending today. I do look forward to speaking with you all again very soon. Thank you very much, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your day.